Hey guys, it's Rhea here at allofourhomes.com, and today I want to share with you some natural fall decor ideas that you can eat. There are so many natural options for fall decor, from pumpkins to acorn squash to wheat, so I wanted to share with you a couple of natural fall decor ideas along with some recipes to make your fall extra tasty. So from one neighbor to another, let's jump into it. One of my favorite fall natural decor elements is to use acorn squash. I love the way it looks, but it also tastes great. I'll link to a video of how we used it on our fall mantle last year, and we're also using it this year. One of the tricks with roasting acorn squash is to cut it in half first, but then to also cut it in this direction as I'm showing. I found this recipe on Simply Scratch for how to roast it, and she also shows how to cut it up so that you kind of have that pretty sort of scalloped edge when you're cooking it. You can also make it with sage, and that brings me to sage, which is another fall element that you could use in your potted plants. And here we have a potted plant with sage and collard greens. Both of these we'll be eating during the fall. I really like the way that these look. The leaves are kind of this silverish green, and it looks good with ornamental kale if you wanted to put that in there. The collard greens here have really filled out, and they are going to be great to cook up in like the next week or so. So I'm really looking forward to using this Cookie and Kate recipe to stew up those collard greens. And then typical fall decor involves pumpkins. There are so many different kinds of pumpkins out there. I sometimes get confused. Last year I bought pumpkins that I thought were just decorative, but you can roast them and most of them are quite delicious. I think this is a great guide by the Spruce that you can use to decipher which pumpkins you should use for baking or roasting. I ended up using my pumpkins last year to make this delicious vegan soup by Cookie and Kate, and I'll put all of these recipes in the description box below. And moving on from savory to sweet, we also can use pumpkin for these vegan muffins by Nora Cooks. We made these mini muffins actually using canned pumpkin because we weren't ready to cut up our pumpkins yet, but they are so delicious, and they only took around 15 minutes in the oven because they were mini muffins, and we also added some chocolate chips to make them extra sweet. So yeah, for our fall mantle this year, we just have some pumpkins and a couple of different varieties, and then some acorn squash, and then some natural plants from outside. Some of these things I just brought in from our fall decor Scandinavian style porch makeover, which you can check out. And then we have some pears and apples that we just put in a bowl in our house. I'm just showing the pears here. And I always wash them with some Dr. Bronner's Castile soap just to make sure that they're nice and clean and always ready to eat, so that whenever you're hungry, you just grab them out of the bowl and can take a tasty bite. I just think pears and apples in a bowl during the fall are so easy. It's such a healthy snack, and you always have an abundance of them. Another way to use up your pears and apples for the fall is to make a fruit crisp. I have been making this fruit crisp for probably 20 years now. It was in one of the first recipe books that I ever got. You can use apples for it, pears. I think they have options for blueberries and maybe strawberry and rhubarb. But basically any kind of fruit that you can cook up. You add some sugar to it, some oats and brown sugar and butter. We used vegan butter for this to make it a vegan recipe. And then put it in the oven for a while, and it's extra crispy, and it also is a healthy snack. Here we put plant-based whipped topping on it just to keep it vegan, but you could also use coconut ice cream. I will add a link to our blog post that will have all of these recipes in the description box below. Well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We put out old house tips every Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by our home.